Taito 3-board set, as you can see on the bench. Now this one has been a right pain in the backside. There's been a number of issues with it, which has created me to chase my tail a little bit on this. So what I decided to do was, I knew that the CPU board was working fine, and I know that the sound board is working fine, but the story was that the client contacted me and said that he basically just got lines on the screen, something very similar to these, albeit they were a lot worse than that, and it just wouldn't work. He bought it second hand in the cocktail cab, and sadly it only lasted about 2 days. So he contacted me, and I've had this for quite some time actually now, because as I said, I've been up against it a little bit. So I've kind of knuckled down to it this last week, and we've got it on the bench. As you can see, there's an awful lot been changed on there, and some of this was due to the outputs not being great on some of the chips, but more so that there was a lot of corrosion on the chip legs, on quite a few of them. So I just didn't mess around, I just removed them, and that has got it into this situation now where we've still got lines on the screen, but it's nowhere near as bad, but obviously there's something still holding it down. So I've been doing a few checks and things, and it's sod's law that the one chip that I didn't replace due to quite a lot of corrosion is this 7442 here. Now this basically generates a load of clock signals what go throughout the entire board set really, and the clock signal in question, I've just been kind of probing it with the oscilloscope, and I found that pin 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this one, all it does is generate this kind of garbage. I mean, it's just floating basically. So on this particular chip, if we monitor this output on it, that looks really healthy, but one of the outputs on pin 6 is just this. Now that's just kind of noise basically, it's just floating. So that clock actually goes off onto the CPU board, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to take a new 7442 and we're going to try piggybacking it and see if this does anything. Let's just see if we can get it to make contact here. As you can see, the game has started working. Easy as that. So some of these Taito boards also have the hardware on them to do colour RGB, and it basically creates an electronic overlay instead of putting the kind of coloured gels over a black and white screen. And this bit of circuitry plus a few bits on the soundboard do this particular job. So these here are the two proms what hold the data to create the colour overlay. One's for player 1 and the other's for player 2 obviously, and as we can see on here, you can see the elements which are coloured on the screen. Now you can see by the bases and some of the colour of the Invaders that they're not quite right. You've got these black bands going through the shields, and you can also see something funny going on at the bottom of there. So it's most likely, he says, it's most likely an issue with these colour proms here. So what we're going to do is we're going to read those in and analyse what's actually in them. So we got this 74 LS174 flip-flop in the PROM programmer. This particular PROM programmer can test logic chips as well. So we'll go over to here and we'll click on the auto find, which is what I normally use, and as you can see it hasn't found anything. So if we go up onto here, if it doesn't find anything it normally means it's pretty bad. 174. So we click on here, press test, and as you can see it has failed. Partially working, but not working enough. So we put in the new 74174, and as you can see we now have the proper colours on the screen. All is well.